Today in the House of Representatives. It is an Avalon program that highlights activities from up Capitol Hill, making you Liberians to hear and know what your lawmakers are doing in the best interest of this country called Liberia. This program is on state radio ERBC 99.9 and several other frequencies across the country every Thursday at about this time up to 6 o'clock. Is being relayed on the following station Radio Farmington 87.7 in Marquis County, the Voice of Hope in Plebo Surican District, Maryland County. A repeat of this program comes on 6 to 7 every Friday on Radio Farmington. It's being produced and presented by the Horses Press and Public Affairs Bureau. So, welcome wherever you are. This program features reports from the House's committee meetings with in depth interviews and analysis about the country's legislative process. Today is Thursday, it's July 20, 2023. It is the 201st day of the year. We are left with 164 days to close up this year and enter 2024. Mind you, this year is Liberia's general and presidential elections according to National Elections Commission NEC. We have 82 days to the election. Welcome to the program. Invite someone to listen with you. Let's take a few bars of our theme song. And when we come back, we'll run through the program. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the program today in the House of Representatives. My name is Robert Haynes, and I'm here along with the Deputy Wholquoi Yeahgar. Welcome. How you doing?
Yes, thank you ever so much.
Why are you
Good
smiling
evening.
again?
I think it's yet another presentation, and the promise is to be fascinating. It's good to be here following a week. Of course, we're here to talk more of the happenings on Capitol Hill. So you can just invite a friend to listen.
Well, great. On a side note, we want to inform the country that the Honorable House of Representatives, the legislature of Liberia in particular, is bereaved following the passing of former Deputy Speaker, Grand Bassa County Electoral District Number 1 Representative, Honorable Haynes Dachu. And so, during the early hours for Tuesday morning, on the news filtered that this fallen statesman uh, uh, died. And so, it is with deep sorrow and profound sadness that the Honorable House of Representatives announced the passing of an esteemed colleague, Honorable Hans Bachu, a dedicated lawmaker and respected statesman. Honorable Bachu was a prominent member of this legislative body, the Honorable House of Representatives, that he served from 2011 upon his election up to 2018 as Deputy Speaker, and so he been ongoing, and that Yeahgar.
Yes, I think it's sad. The passing of Representative Hans Bachu, like you said, he served the legislature, came to power in 2011 on the authority of the people there in Grand Bassa County District 1. And of course, up to present, and his passing is one of such members of the legislature continue to mourn because of his role, his interaction with them. Like you rightly said, he served the legislature in different roles. Of course, a couple of committees, for sure. He had an experience financially, of course, and so every time he was just around the financial committees in the Honorable House of Representatives, and there were other leadership committees, of course, that uh, he was a part of in the process.
Mm.
And I think it's just sad because amidst the description of Representative Hans Baju, he was always polite.
Right. So, Honorable, also the section had to be cut off short on Tuesday. House Speaker Victor Buffer Chambers led an array of lawmakers to go and see, to go and visit the home of their fallen colleague, former Deputy Speaker Honorable Hans Dachu, and visited the home and met with her family members. And so the Speaker intimated that Honorable Hans Dachu untimely demise has left a void in the legislature and the nation as a whole. He was a tireless advocate for the welfare of the Liberian people and a champion of democratic values.
Yes, I think he demonstrated such evidence of his contribution to the legislature because when there were a couple of issues that the colleagues wanted to have some information about, for sure they contacted Representative Hans Bachu. And so it has definitely created a void, not just for the legislature,
Mm.
but the folks in Grand Bassett County, they are bereaved also because he was one of those members. And of course, following his passing, he served as the chair of the legislative caucus,
For Grand
for
Bassa
Grand
County, right,
Bassa.
up to his death.
Yeah, up to his death. Yeah, so I know for sure when I was still in mainstream the last time, the legislative caucus elected him as the chairman of the caucus. Then we had some conversation on state radio, and then he tried to align a couple of issues that he had on his agenda. And he was a man of peace. He
Yeah,
always wanted peace.
right. I think his last debate in the chamber, if I vividly remember, it was on issue of the delay in the disbursement of county development funds to Grand Bassa County, and he was craving the indulgence of a plenary to invite the Minister of Finance then, and so he took on that debate very seriously. I remember that was the last uh, active discussion in a section.
Yes, so as chair of the caucus, he had a responsibility when all of the lawmakers have brainstormed and whatever was the decision by the legislative caucus of Grand Bassett County. One person who championed such cause at the level of the Honorable House of Representatives had to do with the chairman, and so he was the chair of the caucus. So yes, indeed, he had to champion that because, mind you, like he said, the county development fund was essential to the growth and development moving the county forward. And so they could not operate the county without the county development fund. So he wanted the plenary to look into the matter and ensure that the Ministry of Finance and all other stakeholders responsible for such could take the appropriate action in favor of the people of Grand Bassett. So yes, he was a floor fighter. He had a very unique style as a lawmaker, very polite, intelligent, but of course, he was always able to push the idea.
Well, we're hoping that we can have our producer here with us so we can, following the death of this honorable lawmaker, uh, tons of tons of tribute already started coming in, pouring in, and so following the passing of former Deputy Speaker Hans Batu, Grand Bassa County Electoral District Number One representative, schools of lawmakers have started to eulogize their colleague, and so we're hoping that we can get our producer here so we can have the those lawmakers who started to talk about what sort of man he was, what sort of interaction they had with him while in the chamber. Because mind you, up Capitol Hill is a political charge area, and so you have had some interaction with this honorable gentleman who was a two-term lawmaker,
Yes,
elected in
yeah,
2011 and
2011,
2017.
2017, and opting. But of course,
Right.
he has gone.
Well, let's get representative lawmakers eulogizing their fallen colleague, Deputy Speaker, former Deputy Speaker Hans Batcher.
Yeah, first of all, let me just mournfully and sorrowfully express my deepest condolences to the family of Hans and Bachu for this loss. Let me also extend my sympathies to the professional colleagues, including the lawmakers whom he served with, in the House of Representatives. It is with a sense of deep sadness and regret that today we are talking about the demise of Honorable Hans and Baju that is no longer with us today. So I just like to express my sympathies. I had a brief encounter with Honorable Baju in this legislature, the 54th, where he was with us. Hans' contribution to Discussions were very meaningful. He was truly an elder because he didn't talk much, but when he talked, he made a lot of sense. He brought our thought processes under discernment, that is, intervention, created an opportunity for decisions that were made regarding that subject matter to have been placed in the right perspective. That's the kind of person that Hans Bachu was.
Of course, he's gone. What sort of message do you have for the family?
We like to say to the family that, parents, take solace in the Lord, or never mind. The departure of hands today, in keeping with the Lord's will, yes, will create, in the family. The voice of wisdom, the guardians, the advices will no longer be heard, from hands by you. But his life was good, was worth emulating. We will mourn, but don't mourn hopelessly, because Hans lived a good life. That his legacy must be continued. His legacy of leadership, his legacy of discernment, his legacy of thoughtfulness must exist and continue among and within the family circles. Never mind to the family.
It's very starting when I got the news yesterday. Him was a great man. I really admired him during our 50th. He was a great man. I felt very, very sorry yesterday when I got the news. I hope the Almighty God will be with him. May his soul rest in peace.
What sort of man you knew him to be?
He was a great man. I remember one thing ago when we were on the budget issue, there were some difficulties that we had. And because of experience that I have with him, he was a good professional auditor. And when I chatted with him on a few issues, he said, "Look, my brother, this is how we should do it." And I was so accepted at that time. It was very, very welcoming.
You think his loss served as a kind of fall in the legislature?
Oh, yes.
For the district he represented?
Yes. I'm sure the people of his district will listen. But he was a great experienced man when he was alive. And he know how to manage things. I really admire him, and not only being, but his district would miss him a lot, I'm sure.
The capital building is a political area. Did you people one day have some difference in terms of ideas or from political persuasion?
From my end, negative. Because when I pay him visit, or when we used to have our cookout meeting, we all the time bring great ideas together and bring people together. I remember there was an incident that occurred between the late Muna, and we reconciled our differences, and it went well. I was really busy.
And then word to the family?
Oh, especially when I heard about his wife and his son, I don't know how to express myself, because it was sudden. And I hope the family, we will try to consult them. And I hope God will be with them.
Hence, loss is saddening for all of us, most especially those of us who grew up in Barnesville. I remember during my childhood days, I saw Haynes as one of the prominent persons in Barnesville. And around that time, Haynes was the controller at the Ministry of Planning. And along the line, we follow him. He inspired us, a very peaceful person. And based on the inspiration we got from him, when we saw him in leadership, we were all moved to follow suit. Losing hands is like finding ourselves absent in this beautiful world, because hence life, affected us directly, positively, by making us to be peaceful, growing young people, and people who always opted for leadership. We miss him. We think there is a loss for Liberia. There is a loss for the people of Grand Bassa County. We want his family to find solace in the Lord. May his rest better peace.
Well, if you recall, a few days ago, his picture and my picture appeared together on one of these newspapers. So when somebody told me yesterday that he passed, I was kind of confused. I didn't know what was happening. Hence, and I came a long way and he came here and met him. But before we came into the house, when he was controller at the Ministry of Planning, I was Deputy Minister of Finance, and I interacted on so many occasions. So when I came in the house, we were friends. In fact, his older brother and myself were on race. He was there on race too. And he experienced his father used to be with the Constitutional Commission. They drafted the Constitution, and he and I came a long way. And here we were professional colleagues. I remember him most. One time, in our first term, he was fighting hard so that we always will come back. So he devised a means that for us to have special saving. So as to use that money for our re-election, and that he managed that money, and at the time, at the end of that term, 2017 elections, he was able to disperse the money to us, and that's how some of us came back. I hold that for him. Dan was a very good friend. He knew what he was doing. That was the reason why when he wanted to be speaker, some of us backed him because we thought that he would be one of the best leaders. We will miss him, but we cannot question the law that he gives and takes. We are very sorry. We are
Was he
very
a
sad.
soft talking person?
Very soft talking person, but firm. He was soft talking, but firm, and he knew what he was doing. Very, very good man. Very good man.
You know, for me, we have lost a great man because a man of wisdom. You know, hence he used to encourage all of us. You know, particularly the Egon 2017 election. It was not easy. I can just remember seeing him all the time when I got, oh my, don't be, because he never called my name one day. When they call me my, don't be deterred by anybody. You know, get tested in the Lord. Believe that God is there for you. So he knew to talk to us, encourage us to do the right thing because good people always encourage people to do the best, to do the good thing that will benefit the country. And sometimes when he was deputy speaker, he used to tell us, anything you do here, his prayer will touch you tomorrow. It's better for you to pass a bill that will impact the life of the citizens of the country. You are not here in the interest of yourself. You're here in the interest of the Liberian people. So anything you're doing, man, put it back on your head that you are working for the Liberian people. So, you know, all these Google words, he used to encourage us. When I think on it, I don't even know what to do. But one thing we human beings, we should know that God, that's the only thing nobody can control over is death. When the time comes, it has come. So man, hands battle. When I heard the information yesterday, I didn't even know what to say. As a believer, we just hold it as it is. So I want to encourage the family to just believe that God is the giver, He is the taker. So they should take courage. The children, they should take courage. They should know that even hands gone, but we are there for them. So the wife, I wonder, because you know for you and your husband to be there, the next day you hear that the man is there, and that's small thing.
I remember I knew him since 1987. We were all in Bartnetsville, and we were almost like in the same profession, though he was not a professor, but he was also a controller. And then we interacted so many times professionally. We met at workshops. So the day I decided to get into race in Bartnetsville, he encouraged me a whole lot. Like, oh, you can make it. After he had said his first time, and I was trying to join in this Capitol building, he encouraged me a whole lot. And I can recall upon my victory, he called me and gave me a lot of warning and advised me to be on his team during the speakership election. You recall I was heading his team for the speaker, and all those interactions we had. He's a man of wisdom, he's a man of wisdom, some of these words and share with some of us for the idea and putting us to the make us to know how to operation flow. I must say sorry to the family, sympathy to the family. I know how deep in that sorrow is to lose a man of substance. He was a very wise man who he didn't talk much at the time. I met him that we already sick. But he was somebody that had so many great ideas that someone had to tap in. He's a big brother. Most of the time we interacted. And every time when there's an issue in the flow, he will have to hit me and guide me in some of the processes. May his soul rest in peace. And I pray that the family too will accept as it is as God. You can't blame anybody for this, but it's definitely a appropriate time that God deemed necessary to take him away. And you don't have any control over death. I was decided with family.
The Right Honorable Bashu was very incisive, meaning that he was an intelligent young fellow. He was very deliberate in his actions. He was one that I would say had rational judgments, and we worked together for some time. And for the time I worked with him, it was very impactful. I can remember we were on two different sides for the hosting of Honorable Talo. He led the people on the other side. For me, I felt that it was unfair for that to have happened, but it was an exercise of democracy. From there, they wanted to also unseat him. His own friends that had him there as acting speaker, I stood by him because I felt that it was wrong. So that make him to earn some respect for my own approach to things. It was that my action was irrespective of individuals, but policy and principles. So from that, we became good friends. And he knew that I had no real bitterness against anybody. The only thing was for the right thing to happen. So we have been working together. We had him to represent us in the Pan African Parliament, and he did well. We hope and pray that what he has done on earth be an example for others to see and maybe do better, especially his children who saw their father sacrificing for their livelihood. I think he was a good gentleman. I believe God will give him a resting place and he will be in perpetual peace.
Probably describing his passing, what do you say is his contribution in the Honorable House of Representatives on your speakership?
Well, he represented Grambassa well. His district, he represented it well. He was a kind of a polite gentleman, soft-spoken, but very, much consistent. So yes, he is one who many persons will want to identify with. So his work, has spoken for itself. And history will absorb him because he has been very much formidable, patriotic, and beautiful. So I think that he did what he could do to the best of his ability, and history will forever remember him. This house will forever remember him.
Now let's talk about your visit to the home of the foreign representative. Is it customary in line with your roots?
Yes, that is a general action that we all take all of the time. It's a custom, it's a tradition of this honorable house. We always identify with our friends and the family of our friends whenever these unfortunate occurrences do take place. And for me, I always pray that he will be one that people will always look up to be like. His action was a sound example of how leaders and patriots should act. So for him, I thank God for having to have known such a young person, such a reliable person, such a focused person.
Even though the House of Representatives is bereaved, but it's good to talk about what words do you have for the people of Grand Bassa.
Well, for the people of Grand Bassa, I want to tell them, to express to them our profound condolences to the family, his partner, his, friends and relatives. Our condolences to them. I pray that they all see his life as a kind of direction that will lead them positively. But I think he was one who stood for prosperity and growth. He was a transformer.
Right. He's well, you listen to voices of lawmakers there closing with House Speaker of Lactobal for Chambers Yeahgar, eulogizing the fallen former Deputy Speaker, Grand Bassa District 1 Representative Honorable Hans Batu. May peace be to her ashes.
Yes, I think it's a side moment for all of the lawmakers, including the honorary speaker of the House of Representatives. Often, when you hear the speaker approach national issues, of course, he has the vehicle, but of course, because of sad times, you can actually determine those of you who are even listening to the radio. And so, Representative Richie Combs, Representative Zaza Samson Weir, Abraham Vamoya Conan, Representative Johnson Guegulo, they all spoke.
And
Yeah,
and the mother Representative
yeah,
Haja Fata
Haja
Sana.
Father,
She was
son.
elected 2005. Since then, she been winning elections and still she's a third term lawmaker.
Yes,
So and
it's a very sad day
remembering the
for.
time with this honorable gentleman who had now passed from labor to rest. May peace be to his ashes. Well, so that is it. And well, good news today. House Speaker Buffer Chima honor rights the medical bill of a 36-year-old woman who is suffering from cancer, womb cancer. So she's now to be flown to Accra, Ghana. And thanks to House Speaker Buffer Chambers for this intervention being made, honor writing her bill. 36 years old, Miss Benny's Brown. Benny's Brown. It has been reported that from JFK, authorities on JFK that knows her, and also from EW that knows her with cancer between cancer in her womb. And so today, some passionate plea was being made on the radio station, on a local radio station. So the Speaker of the House heard her passionate plea and sent for her today, aided to honor right her medical bill so that she be flown to Ghana and so forth like that.
And I think I'd like to start on a very good footing by extending my gratitude to the honorary speaker, even though Miss Brown has also extended her gratitude to the honorary speaker. But of course, like you said, he was following a local radio conversation. And of course, that passionate plea was made because she said for a year ago, she contracted or came down with this cancer in her womb, and she has been struggling. She spoke about the ball of the pins. She spoke about how life has been uncomfortable for her in the process. Night hours is like she wouldn't sleep. She's up and there's severe pain, and she spoke about bleeding and a couple of other issues and things. Yeah, so she was kind of seeking support from donors, from individuals.
Humanitarian.
Yeah, and good for her. The honorary speaker was listening to the talk show, and so just after the conversation on the radio, he requested that she visit him on Capitol Hill. And first and first this morning, the speaker had his doors open and he held some conversation with the lady. And following the conversation, he moved in immediately and he has taken full responsibility for the treatment.
And not just stopping there, he communicated with the hospital there in Ghana, the Kalibu Teaching Hospital in Ghana, where some time ago too, they also confirmed this this
Yes, yes.
illness.
So yes, she was diagnosed by the GFK. She went further with the ELW hospital. She traveled to Ghana for further medical checkup, and all of what she got from the different institutions or hospitals proved that yes, indeed, she has cancer, and so she has been opting for an intervention. And like we said today, by the faithful grace of God, the honorary speaker has intervened. He has paid for the full treatment. It means she will be traveling to
Ghana,
Ghana
right?
to complete her treatment. And the speaker said he's in prayers with her because it is a critical time for her leaving her family
Mm.
to go for treatment. But at the same time, he kind of urged her to follow the medical regulations
Right.
so that she's better and can return to country and contribute in whatever way to the fall march of this country. Yes, so
Right,
I
and
think
so she
it's
was
good.
very grateful to the speaker. She was full of praises for the speaker of the House, Honorable Bob Chambers, and she said, "I want to say thank you to you, Dr. Chambers. It is my first time meeting with you, and I pray that God will bless you. And if God can pass through you to listen to me on air and listen to my crowd, He will bless you and your family, including your children." But that's coming up from the 36 years. She's just
And you can
36
imagine
years old.
there was a
Wow.
lot of excitements. I saw her, she had this kind of joyful mood, into a joyful mood, and she was just grateful that there can be an intervention that would save her life in the process.
Right, right. So, well, thanks a lot again to House Speaker Buffer Chambers for doing this, reaching out, testing this, making sure that this woman is going to be, by the good, special grace of God, she's going to return to Liberia after her medication, and we'd love to see her very hefty.
Yeah, very well.
House of Representatives has rectified 35.8 million financial instrument. That was on yesterday. There was a special section held. The Honorable House of Representatives rectified two financing agreements between the Republic of Liberia and the International Development Association called RDA, and this is going to boost agriculture sector. Remember, some time ago we spoke about that. Yeah,
Yes, and I think the ratification is in the best interest of Liberia because this is not just the only ratification we talked about here, and it's coming at a time that we all have concentration on the agriculture sector. How do we improve the sector? And so, yes, the executive has since attracted this uh, agreement. Of course, it was submitted to the Honorary House of Representatives, and of course, the House of Representatives went through the scrutiny, and of course, overwhelmingly, unanimously taking this decision to have the instrument ratified. And I think we can just say kudos.
right. And so it's the smallholder agriculture transformation and agribusiness revitalization project. So it's called Star P, and it is valued at 28,709,000. Right, 28,709,715 dollars. And so this, according to the president, it is going to increase agricultural productivity and commercialization of smallholder farmers in the following counties: Lofa, Nima, Grand Cape Mount, Bomi, and Margibi counties by focusing on production of rice, oil palm, and so forth.
Yes, I think it cut across, especially where there's serious concentration in Lofi, Nemad, Kipmat, Bomi, and Nargibi counties on the improvement of agricultural activities, especially for smallholder farmers.
Right. And so now we're going to run. Remember the last week we spoke about the plantationers, the three plantation companies, Golden Safeguard, CRC, and the Maryland All Palm Plantation MOPP. They were summoned, and they came under contempt. And we want to inform you. Remember, we said we were going to give you the update from there. And so they went up Capitol Hill. They've had a meeting, and the the Speaker of the House of Representatives was very firm. Said, "Look, you people are not going to be disrespectful to the August body. In fact, you disrespected the Maryland caucus, and plenary took a decision to have you come."
Yes, the last time we spoke on that subject matter, we said that the outcome of whatever was the concern of the Honorable House of Representatives to invite or cite the authorities of the companies or the concessionaires from Maryland County on a contempt charge will be made public. And so, yes, indeed, that outcome, discussions were held. And of course, yes, we had a conversation with the honorary speaker, Dr. Buffer Chimers. I think it's good to hear the outcome of the conversation, even though they are yet to conclude such, but it's good to
get an update.
Yeah, the
on
update
that.
is good. Yeah.
So, House Speaker Buffer Chambers will give update following the meeting with Golden Safeguard MOPP and CRC, and then following that, we'll open the lines to take up of calls here on the radio as we started to talk about those issues. Right here on the program. So, House Speaker Buffer Chambers will get update on the meeting with MOPP, CRC, and the Golden Safeguard Yeahgar. So you will probably want to help our producer right there. So we're able to get that clip. You want to help him right there. So we're able to get on that clip and so forth. So as we said, it's important enough as we mentioned. Now look, the Honorable House of Representatives is very committed in serving the people of Liberia, and as such, having companies that will be called and then not showing any sign of respect, meaning that those things will not suffice, and that's why we mentioned clear cut to you on last week while we were here that the decision that are going to be coming from this meeting will be able to inform you. But the Speaker of the House of Representatives was being spoken to following the meeting with Golden Safeguard MOPP, and those decisions arrived at. So let's get our Speaker Buffer Chambers.
Well, basically, I'm not so sure why they have behaved in the way they did. The issue is perennial, and again, we do not like to make things personal. That is why we like to engage issues based on the law, the procedure, and the systems that we all should follow. Yes, for once we call them to actually be held in contempt because of the evasive nature, whether it was voluntarily or they did it unconsciously or they did not know the consequences for their actions. But we've called them repeatedly so it will not appear as though we're muscling them. So for over a year we've been calling them, and they came some time ago, I think in the month of March, but they hastily left after issues that were not resolved. We spoke on some matters, even those things we spoke on briefly, but were supposed to still meet, but they left unceremoniously. So it heightened our resolve to ensure that they be held liable for the excesses that are occurring and have been occurring at the various plantations of various sites, the Golden Safeguard, the MOPP, and the CRC. One of those things that were, very much resolute about was the issue of separating the companies. I can remember some time ago, under the administration of President Salif, the former Attorney General Justice Minister, Minister Sanon, in the City Hall, supported our quest for the separation in line with the concession agreement. So, but when we called them this time, we felt we put everything together, the welfare issue, the lack of attention and care for the people. So we told them, for the most part, there were some legal challenges or their existence, has some legal gaps that needed to be rectified. In the first place, one person cannot hold more than one job in the 3 plantations. Those plantations, by the agreement and law, they are separate. So anybody in one of those concession areas should have no part to play in the other concession or institution.
Is it embedded into the current
Yes.
MOU?
Yes. And again, by this time, most of those areas you have for the senior management position, the top 10 senior management positions, 75% of those positions should be headed by Liberians, and preferably Marylanders and Plebo Solocate district residents who are qualified should even hold those positions. And they should also endeavor to qualify people or to train people to be qualified to hold those positions. So those are the reasons why these institutions are established. More than that, the issue about housing, the issue about sanitation, the issue of safety at the workplace, all of those things still need to be looked at very carefully. They should be building. They should have by this time had nurseries for the workers. Their children. They should have elementary and senior high schools in those plantations based on the area size. They should be able to have adequate housing facilities with water and lights. These are things that have not been, addressed.
What do you think so? They have not been addressed.
So we will hold them responsible for holding the end of the bargain. I mean, in fact, you cannot come in an area and want to establish a business and overnight you have success. Investment has timelines, placed. So you should first have initial capital to invest, then it grows, then you start to have returns. And again, the issue about people going to work, sacrificing, and leaving them just unattended, and even for the little, gaps that may occur, and then they are fired. We find that not to be humane. In the first place, from the top management, and other officials, sometimes they, in my view, they I would say stay away from work, which I would call dereliction of duty. They don't come to the workplaces. Things are slow. Issues that concern the interests of the people are not attended to in time, and sometimes not at all. Then they will always refer to Ivory Coast, sometimes to France. We find that to be unacceptable. And so we call them for all of these things to be corrected. Even if people asking to have freedom to associate, they also want to interfere and meddle. There is a recent incident where a young fellow called Benedict Bani, who died, in my view, because of the workplace not being safe enough. There was spillage of extremely hot water from the factory that processes the oil, and it left him. I don't know what degree of burn, but the entire body was burned. And in less than a week, a couple of days, he died. In my view, that should have claimed the attention of the workplace leaders, the officials, to immediately transport him to a more sophisticated area that, in fact, even require him to have been airlifted. But that did not happen, and he was sent to Soweto. I think the very day it didn't happen, but I think 1 or 2 days later, he was then carried to J.J. Dawson Hospital, where he died. I think that there was lack of care. So we want to ensure that these things be corrected, so that the recurrence of this cannot, be. Our people need to be adequately taken care of. Our people need to be given the right kind of support. And I think with everything that we have observed, we think that the legislature, the House of Representatives, the plenary, the members are very much concerned, and they are prepared to take the ultimate decision. The caucus too is resolved.
Right, he's the speaker, Victor Bob for Chambers. There, of course, we promise to bring the update, Yeahgar. And so let's, we've not much time with us. Let's open the lines, interact with the public. Call us on 0880-514-096. We have said to you that your leaders are committed, making sure that they represent your dreams and aspiration. And that's why they're up Capitol Hill. Now, calling on these companies, now he explaining about what the company ought to be doing for the people. 0880-514-096, 0770-259660 are the numbers to call us. This is the program today in the House of Representatives right here on ERBC. Is being relayed on the voice of hope in Pliwasadakan District, Maryland County. This person on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Let's hear you. Your name, where you call from?
Yeah, I'm Henry A. Howard, Reverend Henry A. Howard, and I'm calling from Lava Street near the ERBS house.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, I want to say thank you ever so much to the Honorable Fatima. I believe that if I could get to that woman at the time when I took my operation on my eye, I would have been a blind man today. But I tried to get around. There was no way. I didn't have the time. I didn't know the know-how and this and that. I want to tell you, thank you ever so much for what he did for that lady. He did it for that lady. I know he could do it for me. I know he could do it for any other person. And I know he has been doing it for plenty of other people. So I want to say thank you ever so much. I'm ready. Henry, I was a 79-year-old man. Lie down in bed because I lost my eye from the operation I took on it. And then the other one is half now. So if 80% of our eyesight gone. So I want to say thank you ever so much to you and to him. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thanks a lot, Honorable. Let's take more of the calls. 0880-514-096, 0770-259660. Those are the numbers. Call us to be a part. It's your turn to talk because we had a whole long time here discussing some issues. Let's go to the line, get more of the calls. Yeah, got to show. We got to do that.
Yes, let's talk to this caller. Do we have a caller there?
0880-514-096, 0770-259660 are the numbers to call us right here on the program today in the House of Representatives. Yeah. So while we expect the calls to come, I can tell you, Yeahgar, that the people's deputies are acting in the interest of the country.
Well, let's see. Hello. Let's talk to this caller. Welcome to the program.
Hello, how are you?
We're good here. How are you too?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm happy. I'm listening to you all. And I want to thank the honorable speaker, and the team.
So sorry, you have not called your name and tell us where you're calling from.
Oh, thank you very much. This is Bishop Dr. Yeahgar, the COL to the speaker, and at the same time, I am the leader of a group for the Bassa people, and so that which he has done so very much that he assistant or he cares for the people across. Okay, you see where you have a lot of people from different areas in your office. He has shown that to us again. So this lady, Bernice Brown, that he assisted today is from Bassa. So we want for our people in Liberia to know that our speaker is someone who is concerned about the livelihood of people, and at the same time he is not someone who is just thinking one way. That is only about the people in Cleveland.
Okay, man.
So I want to thank him very much.
Okay. Well, thank you a lot. This person to hit the line. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Let's hear you. Your name, where you call from?
Yeah, I'm Philip Benson, calling from Southtown, Grand Crew County.
Great to hear you from Grand Crew, the county with 36 cities. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to say thank to Honorable Speaker for that thing he did for the woman. You know, in a hot there to represent each and every one of us. If he was someone else going to say, I don't know her, I've not seen her before. But it is God that did that. So may the Lord blessing. It shouldn't be that woman alone. Where he took that money from, more should be added there in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thanks a lot. More of the calls, more greets to the speakers airball. 0880514-096-077-025-9660. Let's get more of the calls. This person calling this could just be Cyrus here. Hello?
Hello, brother. How are you?
Yeah, let's hear you. Is that Cyrus?
Cyrus was so many.
Cyrus, go.
The discussion on the speaker today for you know, God bless you.
Okay, Cyrus. Thanks a lot, my brother. 0880514-096. Let's get this person calling us. 0770259-660. Yeah, and we're getting the calls coming. More commendation for the speaker for doing this. For this lady, you know, the other gentleman call said if he had gotten to the speaker,
Yeah, initially, yeah.
Right.
That's Reverend Heron Howell.
Right.
Yes, I know.
0880514-096. We'll get dispensation about 5 minutes here as we run through. 0880514-096, 0770259-660. This person, hello.
Sir?
Let's hear you. Your name, where you call from?
Yeah, my name is Gospel Minister William Zewe. I call from Granger County, precisely by some district number 3.
Mr. Zewe, go ahead.
Yeah, I listened to the honorable speaker. I just want to appreciate him for saving life. And I pray that God will multiply unto what he will be spending on the survivability of that lady. God bless you, honorable man. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. 0880514-096. This person.
Good evening. Welcome to the program. Let's hear you, please.
Good evening. How you doing?
We are good here. Let's hear you.
This is Jordan Harris calling from Capita.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to applaud you for your program, and I love it. I've been following you since you started this evening. Thank you so much for the program.
Thank you.
Let's take Derek Collins. Derek Collins calling. Hello. Hello. You're welcome to the program. Let's hear you. Is that Mr. Derek Collins?
This is David Collins from Capitol Hill.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Oh, hence, the gesture by the speaker, I'm not surprised because it's not the first time. He did it quite recently for a lady from Nimba who brought her daughter up eye surgery. According to that lady, she went all around to small kings, people, but could not help. She came to the speaker, and the speaker provided $2,000 for that lady. In addition, according to her, her small wasn't working, and so her business went down. The speaker gave additional 500, and several other persons that the speaker have done it for. So we are not surprised. That's the nature of Buffett Chamber. Yeah, so I want to commend him for that lady. I wasn't here when it happened, but I saw the photos, the images, the footage, so I think the speaker has been doing well. And was commending.
Right. Okay, College. Thanks a lot, my dear brother. More greets to the speakers airball. We can take one or two more calls and then we'll close up.
Let's talk to this caller. Welcome.
So 0880514-096-077-025-9660. Bobbitt Allison is telling us, veteran journalist telling us our people in Plebiscite District are tuning in to the radio. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Sam Cole. I'm
okay.
Yeah, Sam Cole from Grand Bassa. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say bravo to our legislature, the House of Representatives, for passing 65 million loan agreement. You know, when they came out, many people, many lawmakers in the House, they were one of the political parties. But they fail to know that previous regime, not everything that we were doing.
Obviously, there will be debate, and so that's how the capital bill looks like. Anyway, condolence for you call from Bath. Condolence for the loss of direct representative district number 1.
Yeah. We went up with bereave. Somebody was bereave.
Gentle
But
bereaving.
let me just end with this. Hello.
Go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So as I was saying, they want a political party.
No, we don't want to give you chance on that one because obviously you will have lawmakers who will debate issue from different perspectives. So you don't expect that they will just agree to everything, bro. So please.
Yeah. The issue that there one fellow from Ministry of Finance and one friendly.
But don't put me in trouble, please. Let me let you go, man. So don't put me in trouble here. Let me let you go. This is not a regular talk show here. Please, Sam, don't do that. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Okay, thank you. My concern has to do with the issue of the speaker.
You had not called your name and tell us where you're calling from.
Sorry, this is Frederick Lamar. I'm calling you from Penfield.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the speaker said he has sent for the concession over and over the road then, for many times. At one time, they appear in March, onward. But my question is that the power of the representatives or the parliament is above any concession. Why will our parliament write a particular concession entity and they will be dragging and breaking to appear before that August body? What measures have they taken or did they take that these people, would repeat such attitude of performance towards our house anymore?
Okay.
That's my concern.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll look at that. We'll close up. That's our final call for today. We're running above our time now. We have to run down the curtains. But the speaker was being very clear and mentioned that, yes, of course, you have to be able to give people, you have to treat them and give them that.
Yes, it's in line with due process. So when
yeah.
invitations are extended to the concessionaires, you have to actually ensure that due process is respected.
And that's the reason why.
So they are concluding that matter on tomorrow.
Right. And so when we come back on Thursday, God's willing, we will be able to update you and inform you that, look, yes, this is a decision that was being taken by the legislative body. Shortly, just before we go, let's inform you that ECOWAS will be conducting a regional meeting that is a delocalized meeting here in Monrovia. And good that we have representative from the legislature, both on the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate. And the head of the delegation, the Liberian delegation, is Senator Edwin Mervyn Snow Dranian. And so that will take place in Monrovia at the Ministerial Complex beginning Tuesday, the 25th of July, up to the 29th of July. And so this year, the localized meeting, as we go towards elections, is here under the theme, enhancing political inclusivity, participatory governance process, a mechanism for promoting peace and stability. And this is because we're headed to elections. That's all the time we have to be here on the show today. My name is Rapid Haynes. God's willing, we're back here on Thursday, and then we're moving. And let's use this time to also wish you happy July 26th. Yeah, you don't want to do that to the people. You got 26 for them.
26 to all of you people.